and the headphone distribution amp was mono. It was all in mono. So what I was hearing in my headphones was in mono because it was just going to the AM, which is not stereo. So when I get this all hooked up in here, everything's in stereo. So I'm hearing, Weird Al in stereo.
You're all like, oh, this is different sound.
This is different, yeah. I got the speakers working, both speakers. For the longest time, only that speaker was working. And it wasn't anything wrong with the speaker. It was just messed up back there.
Well.
And so
you seem uninjured, like you've not electrocuted yourself yet.
Well, I did scrape myself, but that was on the door. And Lana's like, you're an idiot. And I said, I know. That's crazy. But, it is funny how different things happen that you think, oh, no, what are we going to do? And then you figure out a different way, and then you go, why hadn't we been doing it this way? Like the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, which was this week. And because of COVID, they couldn't have it. I think they could have it one year, and then the second year they went out to Linwood Estates, which is up the Hudson River from New York, and they set up a ginormous tent, and they made the inside of the tent look just like the show ring at Westminster. Doesn't have as much seating capacity, but I don't think they needed 10, 12,000 seats for the dog show anyway in Manhattan. And they're out there, and there's grass. The people that are grooming their dogs and getting their dogs ready to go for the show, they're out on the property. They can set up their tent. The dogs can kind of run around. And it just seemed like everybody really liked that location better than Madison Square Garden in the heart of Manhattan. And so you wonder, well, is this going to be the new permanent home?
Yeah, are they going to continue? Yeah, we have to do a lot of stuff like that at the theater. But when going back to your new system, we are slowly having to do the same thing with all of our sound equipment. It just doesn't last forever. At some point you have to, there's only so many times you can tap it with the wrench to make it work, and then you have to bite the bullet and replace it.
Yeah, I know. It's frustrating because I think everything should last forever.
Yeah,
but it doesn't. And we've got a problem with one piece of equipment that we sent off to be repaired, and we sent two pairs of these units, transmitter receivers. So we sent two pair. One pair came back. Everything's great. It's in. It's working. It's fantastic. The other one of the units is done, but the other unit, there's one part, and they're having trouble finding that one part. And so and they've had it now for 2 months, and we're at the point now where either tell me
you can't get it, so that I can then
get a new one or a different one, or tell me you've found the part. You've had it for 2 months now. Surely within 2 months.
You should have had some sort of update.
Yeah. And so I haven't heard from them yet. But I'm not alone. I mean, everybody's dealing with those issues.
The supply and demand whole kerfuffle the world seems to be in.
Yeah. Well, let's. Kandese is here from the Ocotillo, and I got to ask you, who was the murderer?
Oh, who did the murder?
Yes.
It actually happened to be the chief of police.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I had a thought pop in my head. I'm not going to say it on the air.
Who was played by our lovely Allison, who does the wonderful baked goods at Kith and Kin.
Okay.
So she was the murderer.
The chief of police. Oh, no. That's terrible.
So it was fun.
Yeah. Did anybody guess that?
Yes, we had just one person guessed correctly. And they were our super sleuth, and they won themselves a free ticket to a show.
That is fantastic. So how was last week? I know it was busy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. It went really well. I did find, interestingly enough, that a lot of our patrons either came from out of town, 6 hours away.
Oh, wow.
Or they were new to town and came in.
Okay.
And so, which was really interesting for us, we had less locals and more out-of-town people. And they paid gas prices and the ticket price and the hotel to come and see the show. We had people from Santa Fe, Lubbock, Texas,
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know what is the draw there, where like everyone here is like, we don't want to go out unless they're new to town. We had a lot of people who were like, we just moved here and we're so excited that there's stuff to do.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
Or they came from out of town. So that was pretty interesting.
Because you had the bingo night, and then you had
we had the speakeasy, and then we had the paint night, then we had family bingo and trivia night, and then the murder mystery.
Now, on the silent auction, when you were here last week, you were saying somebody was pretty adamant about winning one of the dinners. Did they actually get to? Did they?
Yeah. So here's the funny, because she finally figured it out. Kelly Speckart, my partner in crime, her mother called, and was like, "I will bid whatever to make it so that my daughter and future son-in-law have to make me dinner." And so,
as if they don't do it now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, they live out of state. And so they're coming to visit soon.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But I cracked up because she called. She's like, okay. And then she recognized my voice. So she was like, you were in the play, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you watched it. You paid enough attention that you recognized my voice over the phone. That's great. Lovely woman. So yeah, she won the dinner.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, and hopefully a good fundraiser for the Ocotillo, and help you with your upcoming.
A lot of people got real excited about the stuff we had, so that was really awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that in preparation for next season. You can still come by and start signing up for membership. We switched our system from, it used to be like class discounts, and now based on the level you have, you get tickets.
Okay.
So it's based on how much you spend is ticket prices. And the golden ticket, instead of something separate, it's part of the membership structure.
Okay. So if you get this level of membership, in essence, you get
this many amount of tickets for so many shows.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good. And so people can start.
Yeah, they can come in and sign up with that. And then we have Missoula.
I was going to ask you, that's next week.
Yeah, that's next week.
Yeah. So
auditions are Monday.
Monday. Okay.
And they're at 10 a.m. I tell people to get there at like 9:45 area so that they're not late, because the student has to be there for the full audition. And then they'll go through and do all the rehearsal schedule for the rest of the week, and 2 performances on Saturday.
Okay. Now, there's a limit. I mean, how many kids?
I can have at max 60.
60. Okay. Well, that's a pretty good number then.
Yeah. So we would like to get 30. You know what I mean? Half of that is even great. We don't necessarily need 60 kids, but if you're around and your kid needs something to do, it's all week. Rehearsals are 10 to 12 and 12:15 to 2:15. So 2 sets of 2-hour rehearsals. We will feed snacks so that your kids aren't like hangry. But so we'll have that going on. It's Johnny Appleseed is the play that we're doing, and we have 2 wonderful directors coming in from Missoula. And if you have an older student, 12 to 18 age, that would like to assistant direct instead of act, that's an option. I have 4 spots available for that.
Now, where is Missoula? I wasn't trying to stump you.
No, it is there, and it's an M state, and I just don't want to say.
Is it in Missouri?
I want to say yes, but I don't want to be wrong.
Okay. It's an M state.
Yeah.
So now you're going to challenge me with that. Well, there's Michigan,
right,
Minnesota, Montana, Missouri.
Oh my goodness.
Mississippi.
No, it's not Mississippi. I know that. Yeah.
It's not Mississippi. Maine. Maine is an M state. Did I miss any of the M states?
No, I think you got it. Montana.
There
we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
Montana.
So they come all the way in from Montana, and they work with kids. I mean, this is.
And they bring all the stuff with them. So we don't actually, other than we got them T-shirts. So we have T-shirts. Other than T-shirts, they bring everything from props to costumes, all of the stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is it singing, dancing, acting?
Acting and singing.
Acting and singing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like really simple singing, so they don't have to be like, oh, I'm on track to become a country music star or whatever it is. They work with experienced and unexperienced children.
Okay. Well, that's great. And so how much does it cost for the theater program?
So for the whole week, it's $80 for one child, or if you have two, it's $120. So it drops from $80 to $60 per
Pretty
kid
good
if you have
discount.
two. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or even if you look at it, you had 3 kids, one's full price, the other 2 get 20%, like a $28 discount off. Yeah.
And they're there for a week. They've got the 2 rehearsal sessions per day, and then the performances are on Saturday.
2 on Saturday, 1 at 3 and the other at 5.
Mm-hmm. And those are pretty much for the parents and the families of the kids that are in it. But you've got room for up to 60.
Yes.
So, and the age group again is?
Exiting kindergarten through 12th grade.
Okay. Oh, through 12th grade. So they could be instructors on the older side. Okay, so get them over there.
Yeah.
And do they need to sign up ahead of time or go on
I would just say you can pay ahead of time online, and then we'll have the registration forms at the theater.
Okay.
So when parents come drop off their kids, then they'll fill out like, this is my child's name, age, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's on Monday.
That's Monday.
Monday at 9:30, I think you said.
Yeah, I usually encourage people to get there early because it starts right at 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know it's a very popular program, and a lot of kids usually.
We've had generations. Like, I run across people, and they're like, oh, yeah, I did that when I was a kid. Or, like, I had my kids, and now my grandkids have done it, and we want our great-grandkids to do it. So.
Yeah. That is fantastic. So that's next week.
Yes.
And then you get your vacation, or do you have all kinds of stuff lined up for July?
We do have a break. July is the start of our 22-23 season. So we do have a bit of a break there. But we do have, on the 10th, we have a geometric wood workshop with Kirsten Moritzen.
Okay.
And then we've got a dance camp and a cyanotype workshop.
A what type workshop?
Cyanotype. So it's like the sun-exposed pictures.
Okay.
And that's...
I think that's a filter, isn't it, on phones?
You do have the filter now on the phone.
Yeah.
But instead of doing the phone filter, they'll actually be doing that with photos.
Well, of course, yeah.
They do have the sun exposure filter on the phone. Yeah, so we've got that. We're working on something for National Day of the Cowboy to go with Benny's Western Wear. And that will be our month of July. So I do have like a few weeks worth of, I can sit and organize the office and get prepared for a busy season.
Good, yeah, good for you. You'll have to come hang out next week when we have Clyde Lewis in town.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be in Roswell for the UFO Festival.
Oh, fun.
And he is moderating the abduction panels.
Okay. Hey, that's exciting.
So you took... Gunhill to the UFO
we went
Museum.
She sat down and made phone calls, and the kids explored. Me and the kids looked through. And since I was in there last, they had made updates, so it was really cool to see the new stuff that I hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah.
And then there was like the usual, like with the middle setup with the aliens and the huge saucer. That was still there.
Yeah.
But the way that they did the exhibits now
it's an interesting thing. It's been a couple years since I've been through it, so I'll get to see the new stuff this year when we're doing, because I've got to kind of make sure Clyde gets on the air from the UFO Museum next week. But I don't know what to think. I don't know if that's, I know something crashed in the desert in 1946. I don't doubt that.
Yes.
But was it a spacecraft with aliens in it? I don't know. What do you think?
I like to believe it. Was something alien-esque, or like at least a diversion from something that actually happened, The whole the space is so vast that we don't know. I love space TV. I'm a huge nerd in that area. Raised on Star Wars and Star Trek. So funnily enough, I don't have a one versus the other because I grew up watching both.
You're okay with both?
Yeah, I'm okay with both. I think definitely in the wake of the crash, historically, it was really fashionable for people to go digging. You know, that's where you get blackwater jaw. People in their Sunday best would go out and dig around and stuff. So it's just something, we don't do that anymore. So I think just the idea of the fact that, like, hey, there's something, and everyone made a mad rush to go do that. And even in the museum, there have been archaeological expeditions over the 2000s to go do that. And they're working on doing another one to see if they can find more proof or more evidence.
Yeah. Did they get everything, or are there still artifacts? Is there still evidence in the desert that has yet to
that maybe got moved
uncovered?
Around because it's dry and things blow around?
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I was watching a video on the YouTube's the other day, Gettysburg Civil War, American Civil War Trust, and they, I think History Channel did this, and they had to do this a few years ago because everybody that was shown in there is a lot younger than I know they are now.
Yes.
But they did an archaeological thing at one of the battlefields, and with the metal detectors and the sonograms and all this other kind of stuff, and they're still finding bullets, they're still finding artifacts from some of those Civil War battles, and that was 150 years ago, 160 years ago.
Yeah.
So this was 75 years ago. So there might still be some things.
Yeah. So they're going out and looking. So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, this will blow your mind away. So if it's alien in nature, how do any of our man-made technologies discover it?
Well, so that's some of the conspiracy theory, right? Is that some of the stuff they pulled off of the site has helped us build the technology that we have now.
Oh, I understand that.
And some of it's not released to the public, so maybe.
But I mean, if I go buy a metal detector, okay, I'm out there in my shorts and my white tube socks, my sandals,
Oh, not the sandals and the tube socks. No, Jane, just don't do it. Don't do it.
But how the metal detector is designed by humans to detect human metal.
Well, that's not to say that those.
Find the alien metal or technology?
Well, it's not to say that the alloys or whatever that's metal based.
Yeah.
Just because it's alien doesn't mean that a metal detector couldn't pick it up. It's detected. It's still a metal.
Yeah.
It just might not know what kind of metal it is, but it could tell you that there's something metal.
There's something there. Well, it's one of those things that pop into your head. So we're going to go out there and we're going to scour the countryside, but we're using
So now if it's like not
technology.
anything like that would be something that we would know as metal.
Yeah.
Because of course it wouldn't find it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I would like, because it's a question, if it's true, if it was an alien spacecraft, how come they haven't been back?
Well, the thing is that they have been.
They have been back.
They have been back. You see crop circles and doing, all that stuff, and mostly that it's just that they observe us.
That's why
or kidnap people sometimes.
That's why I need to go to Clyde's abduction panel discussion.
There you go, and hear about the people who are like, I was probed. So
Well, you remember the movie Fire in the Sky?
Yes.
The guy that had that experience, that wrote that book, he's going to be in Roswell again.
Oh, how exciting! Yeah.
And he's going to be on the abduction panel with Clyde. So, and I finally saw that movie because he was there a few years ago. Last time we did some stuff over there, and for one of the festivals, we did some morning shows, and I've got some pictures of him with Mike.
Yes.
He didn't abduct him.
Oh my goodness!
We had him in
the reverse.
And so I finally did find the movie, and I watched the movie, and it's an interesting movie. Is that what happened? I mean, he says that's what happened.
I love the skepticism.
He believes that is what happened. I don't know.
Well, and they, like in the museum, it does say that the documents that were released, the secreted documents,
which they just had a dump this year of documents.
Yes. Could have been fake in the sense that they made fake documents to throw other people off, like that there still was something, but they wanted this story to be released to the public, So we don't know.
I believe that. I believe in disinformation and the government's putting out disinformation. I know that.
I'm also one of those people who's like, oh yeah, the paranormal stuff. People have experiences. Why not aliens? So
why not?
Why not?
Well, it'll be fun to see, and it's the 75th anniversary this year.
Big one.
We'll be looking for that. can you going back to your upcoming season?
Mm-hmm.
Can you drop any hints of anybody that you've signed that's coming for the new season? Or I know you got to wait for contracts and everything.
Yeah, the one that will be coming up the soonest, which will be, which I think people would like recognize, which will be coming September 10th, is yesterday, the Paul McCartney endorsed Beatles tribute.
Endorsed by Paul McCartney. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
So they're endorsed. That's like the agents like, make sure you say that they're endorsed. Put that on everything. That he endorses them. They are the Beatles tribute. So they're coming in and pretty excited about it. And I think a lot of people in town will be like, hey.
So be watching for that, because I know when you've had those types of tribute bands before, they're very popular.
Oh, yeah.
So
the tribute bands seem to be a really big draw. And we're working on some really fun stuff for the kids, too. For instance, we're going to do a Carpenter's Christmas. And their outreach is that they'll work with the local choirs, like the intermediate and high school choir, and the kids will be able to do a few songs with them on stage during the performance.
So is this associated with Richard Carpenter of the Carpenters?
Their tribute, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll be good.
Yeah, and they work with like they'll have access to the music directors from the Carpenters Christmas with the choir, and they'll be able to do that. Together, and then of course come and perform on stage. Which is always exciting.
Well, that's great. And anybody that Karen Carpenter had one of the best voices of anybody that, you just go back and watch some of that.
Brilliant.
Her performances, it's pretty cool. My mind was twisted a few weeks ago. There's a Chicago cover band from Russia.
Really?
That is somewhat popular on YouTube, and they're doing an American tour. And so they were doing little clips, we're getting ready to go on stage in St. Petersburg, we're getting ready to go on stage in, wherever it is in the States. And then they did a clip where they were at a outdoor amphitheater to see Chicago.
Where's Chicago? The tribute. Actually seeing Chicago.
Yes. I'm watching that. I'm going, this is twisted.
This is so, oh my goodness, that's so funny. Yeah, that's funny.
So I got a kick out of that. But they seem to be pretty popular. I wonder a little bit, though, since everything's going on in Ukraine, being from Russia, how that's gone over, but they still seem to be selling tickets and people
I feel like there's like the whole perception that like it's Russia as a whole, but it's mostly just the heads of the government. The people most of the time are fed a lot of like lies, and so they don't really know, and so they're like guilty by association. But I feel like all of them, you can't hold them completely guilty, because they only know what they know, and most of the time they're trying to fight back, but then they get black bagged and took off somewhere that you don't know.
One of their band members was from Kyiv, and they had to kick him out of the band, and they had to replace him with a Russian. So even they're affected by what you're talking about. But I'm just sitting there watching. Wait a minute, you're a Chicago cover band.
From Russia, waiting to go see the band that you cover, which is Chicago. Yes. Yeah. So no, we have that. Hotel California is going to make a comeback in the spring.
Oh,
they were here like 6 or 7 years ago, they said, and so they're going to come back too. So there's another tribute that will be fun for people to come.
For the Eagles, yeah. Believe it or not, we have somebody that works here that does not like the Eagles.
Oh.
I don't understand.
I kind of like all sorts of music, so I don't have a style that I really just am like about, but
and there's a couple artists that I don't like because they open up their mouth and start talking about things other than music, and that irritates the daylights out of me. People don't care what you think.
Right.
They love that you can sing, or they love that you can act. They don't care what you think about those other things. You're an actor or an actress or a singer. Shut up. And I try to just forget, but there's a couple of them that have just been a little over the top, and I'm like, all right, I'm done with you. I can't I can't deal with that anymore. But anyway, let's hope that doesn't.
Well, all of our acts so far have been like tribute-y, so they're not. They're not too. They're safe.
Well, you've got them on all sides of the spectrum. You've got them both sides. I know Barbara Streisand talks politics, and she comes from one perspective.
Yes.
And then Ted Nugent talks politics.
And comes from the
totally opposite perspective. Yes. And Ted Nugent's love song about the president, we cannot play on the radio. And so I watch both of them, and I'm like, okay, that's funny. Don't do that. You know, just stop. It's not. You know, that's not why people. Well, maybe that is why people go see Ted Nugent. But you know, we go to hear you sing the songs.
Yeah, no, my mom loves Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, and it's like in the movies that she was in. What was it? What's Up, Doc? With Ryan O'Neal. I mean, that's just a funny movie.
Oh yeah, she's a wonderful actress too. Yeah, love. I actually grew up watching the movies and listening to her as well.
Yeah.
So there was actually I came across a tribute for Barbara Streisand that came across my potential planning for next year also. So that's funny that we bring her up.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, check out the website.
Yes. Come by
and visit. And then, of course, if you've got kids, it would be great to be in the Missoula Children's Theater program next week. Get them there to the auditions on Monday.
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
That's it for now.
Candace, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, yeah. Always a pleasure.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
And